We promised the Dunleavy sound. Long-term relationship, Draymond and the Warriors, here we go.
Yeah, I think so. We're committed to him. He's been here for a long time. He's hung a ton of banners and means so much to this organization. And like I said before, I think this is about, turning this thing into a positive and getting better. And so I think that happens, and, we feel really good because, again, his play has been terrific. It's just been his lack of availability that's not been great, and we want to make that better.
Lack of availability.
That's not been great.
Right, but like you could have said that. Like his play is great, but his attitude has sucked. See, but they're still short of that, and I get why. But do you notice the subtle sort of messaging from the Warriors, which I think parrots what Ramona said that she has found out? The organization still totally has his back.
Of course they do.
Totally have his back.
How could they not? He's signed for 3 3/4 more years. He's got 60 more games this year, and then 82, 82, and 82. That's 306 games of Draymond Green.
Doesn't have to be that way. There's always another option.
Right, but it has to be that way until it's not that way.
Yeah.
And much like Jordan Poole, Jordan Poole's gonna be here. We signed him to a long-term deal, and Jordan Poole's gonna be here for a long time. Yeah. We have him under contract.
By the time he got to his car, he was a wizard.
Gone. Exactly. So same thing with Draymond Green. They're gonna stand by him until they don't stand by him, and they're gonna stand by Draymond Green till the very end. I don't think they're gonna trade Draymond Green. How can you?
Yeah. I don't think they want to. I don't think Steph wants to. We asked Ramona, how's Steph? He's fine. He's frustrated, but he's fine. You know what I mean? It's I don't know if it's crazy or not, but Steph Curry is more patient with the teammates than the fan base is.
Right.
And he's got a lot more on the line than we do. He's got a lot more on the rest of his career, which is not long.
Well,
is riding on who's playing around him.
This is house money for Steph Curry.
I don't think he thinks that.
I think that he is out there playing basketball to compete and to win, but I'm sure he's not grinding over his legacy. I need to win one more so that I can be ... But
I got somewhere, I'm going to put my vote somewhere in between the two things that you just said. Sure, obviously, just he's a competitor. Right. He's a competitor. Sure. Is he out there grinding on I need a fifth for my legacy? No, but these guys are wired differently. If you think that Steph is just so if I only end up with 4, that's fine. I don't think their brains are wired that way.
No, of course not. And the way he's playing this year, the frustration he's showing, it's because he wants to win. I'm not minimizing his desire to go out there and win, but when it comes to Draymond or no Draymond, even if he thought getting rid of Draymond Green would make the team better, I think that he would stand by Draymond as opposed to getting rid of Draymond Green with the possibility that your team might be better.
You think the loyalty is that high?
Yes, I do.
You might be right.
I do.
You might be
when it comes to Draymond and Clay, Clay, we'll see. It's a different story.
Tell you what, when people come to a realization, though, of how it affects them directly, you'd be surprised what a lot of people will do. You know what I mean? That loyalty. Take Sean McDermott, head coach of the Bills. This is my staff. I built this staff. We put this thing all together. We feel good about everything we're doing. Hey, coach, now you're 6-6. Don't really like what's happening. All right, fine. Offensive coordinator's fired. Offensive coordinator's fired?
Yeah.
The hell does that have to do with anything?
Can't fire yourself.
Exactly. So people will give you a pound of flesh if they feel like it's them or you. And if Steph Curry truly feels that his ability to win for the remainder of his career is blocked as long as Clay and Draymond are on the team, you might be surprised at what he would say. That's all I'm saying.
I'd be stunned, and especially when it comes to Draymond. Clay's a different issue because Clay got reportedly offered 2 years and $48 million in the offseason, and he turned it down, and now that offer is reportedly not on the table. So that might not be in Steph's control. Draymond Green, whether or not he gets traded, that's something that Steph Curry is going to have a say in. I don't think they're going to trade Draymond if they want to without Steph signing on to that one.
No, you're probably right.
Different story.
Well, and it's not now. The Clay thing comes up definitely at the end of this year. The Draymond thing floats in the atmosphere. I have no idea when this is going to come to a head, if ever. Maybe he will come back and he'll just be by freaking ya. Who knows?
Yeah, that's likely. I mean, yeah.
Let's get some more of your calls. 888-957-9570. Let's do Richie in Queens. Hey, Richie, what's up?
Hey, boys, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, last time we spoke, it was right before the deadline with Soto. We were talking about, does anybody want to come to Frisco? And Posey kind of like put a little deadly potion in there with his comments, but I don't really think that had anything to do with it. I would think not, but...
Well, probably about 20 minutes or so, we're going to have this conversation and play some stuff for you, Richie.
Yeah. All right, so basically with the Draymond Green, and I heard when you say that, where he came from and his background and everything, that really, and I don't think you're making excuses, but the guy's been in the league for 9 years. He's gone through that. He's made millions and millions of dollars. He's won 4 championships. There comes a point where it's got to be stopped. And I'm not comparing it to somebody that does something and slaps somebody and then punches somebody. Next thing you know, maybe he does something more. I think at this point in time, and you mentioned about the anger management, maybe he needs that. Maybe he does have to go to a place and say, my name is Draymond Green.
Maybe.
And I do have an anger issue.
Yeah.
And you know what? If he doesn't apologize, and you mentioned that too, and he doesn't see that he's doing anything wrong, because that was so blatant. And the NBA gets tarnished. I love the NBA. I've been following them for 60 years. And I hate this thing with the Greek freak the other night, chasing people about the basketball, the Draymond Green thing. We don't need that, And then real quick with your team, and I love your team. I'm a Knicks fan, but I've always followed the Warriors. They say that they're close, and I know you had an analyst on earlier. All teams are close. Like the Giants are close last year. They lost 9 one-run games in the last inning. But all what your record is, and right now their record says they're not that good. And it's funny, when Willie Mays retired, he said, I feel great. I don't know what the issue is. Well, the issue was he was 41. And the guys are reaching and they're committing fouls because the quickness is not there. And, they're close but not close enough. Again, that's what happens when you're not a winning team. So I think they're a good team, but like my Knicks, are they a championship team? No.
Well, yeah, probably not. Richie, thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate the call. I will tell you, when he said, boy, the NBA is losing me, he better apologize. 2 things. He did. Right after the game, number 1. But number 2, aren't you done with Draymond apologies or non-apologies? Why do we put so much into that? I don't really, to me, the whole message of yesterday is no more words.
Right. Shout out Berlin.
Action time. No more words. I don't care if you apologize. I don't care if you host a podcast. I don't care if you tell people this is who I am and I'm going to continue to be me. Words, words, words. Everyone's done with the words. That's the message. That's not going to do it. Nobody wants to, Ramona said it, nobody wants to hear it anymore. This is completely, the cup is runneth over with the excuses and the words and the reasons and the I'll be betters.
So what are the actions that he can enact that would actually be meaningful off the court? There's nothing he can do off the court.
No, but no one's watching him off the court.
Right. So now you're going to suspend him indefinitely, and you're right, no more words. So now you're going to go do a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it is of treatment. And then he can come out and speak to it, which he won't do. But if he did, I've learned a lot in these 4 weeks, and I'm ready to get back out on the court, and I'm ready to be a different ball player out there. Well, no more words. So why would he say anything? All he can do is go out there and prove it and show that he's going to play a different way. But how is he going to play a different way when this is the way he's always played and this is the way that he's played and won?
Well, but it's not the way he's always played. There's 2 different aspects to this. He's always obviously played with an angry streak. He's not always hitting people every 4 nights. So
it was an accident, and he didn't. His words. It was inadvertent. He was trying to sell a call. He was trying to embellish a foul call, and he lost control of his arms.
Very few people buy that, and my response was, doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm not buying it either.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what he said, his words.
This is one of those situations where intent does not matter. I know people want, but he grabbed him. Yeah, great. Your behavior, whether intentional or not, has to change, and we warned you, and it didn't. And so now, Draymond, go bye-bye.
I was waiting for the drop. Draymond, go bye-bye.
Yeah. I liked the dramatic pause, actually.
Draymond, go bye-bye. I was leaving room for Grandy. He got there.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube. Do you have the Ramona sound right there? Yeah, here's Ramona talking about that. No more words.
To me, it seems like they're setting it up for if it ever happens again, this could be you're out. You're done for the rest of the season. I mean, they're setting this up for even longer next time. That's kind of where where this seems to be going, like an escalation of games. Now, could I see a world in which he seems super contrite and everything changes in the next week? Sure. And gets into therapy or whatever it's going to be, whatever he needs. I don't know, but I clearly, whatever conversations he has had with the league, they don't even want to hear it anymore.
They don't want to hear it anymore. Remember I said Ellen Willard's phrase to me all the time when I was a kid. I've had it up to here. The league has had it up to here. So now you have to sit with the discomfort of the word indefinitely. Because if we do all sort of transfer the immature response whenever you get punished, the immediate response is, okay, well, how long? How long? Go to your room. For how long? I'm taking your
Until
call.
I say so.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know.
Until I say so.
That's the answer. You go sit with that discomfort.
So no more words. So the only thing that Draymond can do now is to have his actions change the narrative, but he can't perform any actions because he's on timeout and he's in his room.
Right. They're going to give him another chance when they feel ready to give him another chance. I mean,
after which time he does what they need him to do.
Let me ask you
therapy, counseling, meetings, whatever it is. And I'm just playing devil's advocate because
I know.
I'm of the mind where he had this coming to him far, far long ago.
Let me ask you this. You think the league behind closed doors actually already knows about how many games?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is 10 games. I think once we have the calendar change and we get to a new year, because you and Ramona, and when she was on, we talked about it, the optics of the Christmas game. So the Warriors play on Christmas yet again, and that would be, I think that is 6 games and then Christmas. So he's going to be out for Christmas. If you would have given him 6 games, you would have given him 6 games.
I agree.
So I think he's getting 10 minimum, so he's out for Christmas. But do you want the narrative on Christmas to be Draymond's back and here's all the highlights of Draymond doing Draymond things? Or the story of the Warriors are still without Draymond because Draymond was doing Draymond things? Either way, the Draymond Green part of the story is going to be a part of the story on the NBA's biggest day. So you'd rather have it be Draymond is still out because of...
Totally.
And if you're a casual fan, and that's when many NBA fans will watch on Christmas. If you don't watch a lot of NBA, Christmas days become the NBA's day, even though this year you got football too.
Yep.
Shout out the Niners and Ravens in the game of the year. But if you're a casual fan, you don't want to see this guy playing on the heels of what he just did.
No.
You want him to be out and serving his punishment.
Well, I think that's true, casual or not, to be honest with you.
No, you're right.
The situations like this are when casual fans become much more than that. I dropped Christy's dog off at the groomer earlier today. You have 4 people in there. These 2 ladies, and if you wanted to sort of paint with a broad brush, they look like 2 people who would be the last people on earth to be big Warrior fans. And they had this little room that you walk into, and I walk in, 2 customers and these 2 sisters who run this business. And they're just like, and then there was the time with the foot on Sabonis, And they were just, and I mean animated conversation. And I think that that's going on everywhere right now. Offices, living rooms, and that's the ultimate thing that happens on Christmas. You're exactly right. And so that furthers the point of why they won't want him back by then, because they don't want that to be, it's so much easier when it's just like, yeah, he's still not here. Okay, next story.
Yeah.
Here's how the Warriors have been doing without him. And that will be the lead into the game, as opposed to, as you said, a highlight package of him choking people.
Yeah. The stomp, the choke, the punch, and, even if you want to throw in some TMZ highlights, you have those too in case you need them to bolster your montage.
Let's go to Dan in Houston. Hi, Dan. You're on with Willard and Dibs. What you doing?
Oh, how you gentlemen doing? Quick question. Well, not even a question. I think that the biggest issue that I have is I don't really feel that the Warriors are done. Obviously, they're struggling. And I don't get this narrative around Klay. I think the context really matters. I think the issue with Klay is people keep comparing him to himself. But I think that Klay is still a better defender now than even so many other guards in the NBA, period. Younger or not, he just plays better defense than certain people. That's a fact. I think his biggest issue is that he's been tasked with doing more than he should, given other players not really stepping up, and in particular, Wiggins. But if you have a third piece doing more of the creative slashing or whatever you want to call it, then I think that just reduces pressure on him to do more, because the problem is you can't really take him out of his role. So that's, I think that's the bigger issue there.
Dan, thanks. I wonder this, piggybacking off what he just said, has this crossed your mind at all? I don't know how yet, and I think that's how it works. When bad stuff happens, and we've learned this over and over in our life, sometimes a year down the road you go, man, thank goodness for that. Jimmy Garoppolo, torn ACL. Poof, Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Right? Steph Curry, damn, ankle issues. Oh, 4-year, $44 million contract. Now you can have KD. A lot of times.
Pandemic. James Wiseman.
There you go.
Thank God.
Well, that didn't work out.
Oh,
but
yeah, sorry.
Anyway.
This is James Wiseman.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I get what you're saying, though.
That thing that you don't want, like, do you see the potential for that here? More minutes for Kuminga and he blossoms, or Draymond does react positively in some sort of a way, or the Warriors come back next year with, who knows, money to spend, draft capital, and young players who are much more experienced. Like, is there any chance that the next 4 weeks make the Warriors better over the next 4 years?
It's possible, sure. I mean, the Draymond part of it, I think is almost comical to think that this time it's going to take hold. This time Draymond Green's going to learn his lesson. And I'm kind of with Goo and what he was saying earlier, Steinmetz and Guru from 10 to 2, in terms of, he's going to play the game. He's going to get himself back whenever he can get himself back in the league. And it's going to be the same old Draymond. I don't think that Draymond Green is going to have that epiphany or that moment of reckoning where he realizes, man, I need to change. I need to change my way. And if he does, I'll be impressed, and I'll give him his flowers when that time comes. The other part of it, Kuminga minutes, TJD maybe getting in the rotation, and all the rest of what could be a positive outgrowth from this, I'll allow that. Yeah, that definitely could be something, and I hope it is for Kuminga, because JK, he might be in the starting lineup tonight. We don't know yet.
I imagine he should be. Why wouldn't he be?
I mean, because Steve Kerr hates young people.
Well, that's true. I forgot he does hate him.
Yeah, all of them. So, I mean,
except for Pajamski.
It'd be more likely that he goes with Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is 38.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. And he's built just like Draymond.
Right. He's older.
Come on, man.
We like the old people.
Kuminga better be in there tonight.
Should be.
He will be.
Don't know why he wouldn't be.
888-957-9570. How about Charles? It says on the San Mateo Bridge, I hope by now you got to the other side, Charles.
Yep, I'm in the East Bay, back home.
Good for you.
What's up? What's up, Willie? What's up, Dibs? Dibs, it's Charlie from the 01, man. I miss you over there. Where's River Class coming through, man?
Yeah, the claws will be back, but with this baby, man, it's cutting into my bar time, Charles. You know that.
I understand. I got to.
Yeah, you feel me.
So, I'm an avid Draymond Green defender all the time. But
Charles, hold on. You either need to get closer to your phone or something's going wrong there where you actually fell into the
got
bank.
us on speaker. Come on, Charles.
You sound like you're 1,000 miles away.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, gosh, that's so much better.
Come on, man. You got to bring the A game. Let's go. This is drive time, Charles. You know better.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm an avid Draymond Green defender all the time, but on this one, I got to get on it because, see, it's a saying that my brothers say all the time: a grown man knows the world he lives in. And although I do agree with kind of the wussification of America, I don't think people should be beat people up on a basketball court and everything like that. And about the apologies, like he knows that the NBA has came out 2-3 times in the last 2 or 3 suspensions he's got and said that this suspension is based not on what he did in this singular event, but it's based on his overall history. So they let him know, hey, we got you on notice, and he's still doing the same types of things. Now, he did it on purpose. I mean, I know he didn't kill Nurkic like he jumped down on the ground and acted like he died, but that's not the point. The point is what he did. And they knew that he did it on purpose, and they going to slam him for that because he keeps on doing it, and they already told him what they were going to do. Now, as far as him apologizing and all that, you can't. We live in a world now where, everybody expects this monotone response to every single thing in every single sport. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't even really be real. You look at an interview in 1985, 1992, them people was telling you, man, I don't like him, or whatever the case may be. You can't say that anymore because we live in this hot take society that everything's such a big deal. So, it's like how Brock Purdy was the greatest quarterback of all time, and 3-game losing streak, and he's garbage. Now he's back being the greatest of all time. That's kind of like the microwave society we live in now. So the apology doesn't really mean anything.
No doubt. Well, Charles, we got to run.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. I'll come see you soon, Charles.
I'm glad you brought it up because, first of all, of course, Brock Purdy's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Duh.
Who doesn't know that? But secondarily, yeah, and Draymond is one of the people who knows how to play the game. He knows what to say and when, at least so far. And I do think he'll do it again, and that's why he'll probably get back on the court sooner rather than later.